Well, students, good evening to all of you. So today I'm going to conduct your first class. This is the introductory lecture of MEd Semester 1. First of all, congratulations to all of you. You have enrolled yourself in the MEd program. So this is your introductory lectures, MEd Semester 1. Guys, there are 4 theory papers in your syllabus MEd Sem 1, right? The first paper name is Philosophy of Education. Second is Psychology of Learning and Development. The third paper name is Educational Studies. And fourth is Introductions of Education Research and Statistics. Okay. And about the marks. So, marks are mentioned. All the 4 papers are of 100 marks, will be of 100 marks. Right? 70 marks of theory paper and 30 marks of the practical. Right? This is an internal practical. Okay. It is not by the external. Right? So these are the 4 paper in semester 1 and 1 practical. Right? One is a psychology practical. Right? And distribution of marks are as entered. As you can see on this slide, philosophy of education is of a 100 marks paper, psychology of learning 100 marks, educational study 100 marks, and research paper is also of the 100 marks, right? So I can show you the last year paper. This is called, philosophy of education, right? This is your first paper, philosophy of education, right? You can see that philosophy of education. So the pattern of, questions comes like that. There will be the 2 section. In one section, 4 questions will come. You have to attempt 2 questions. Right? And another is section B. Again, 4 questions will come. You have to attempt the 2 questions. And, it carries the 12 marks. Means long questions of the 12 marks. 12 into 4, 48. Right? Rest section C carries the 11 questions. This is the last year paper. That's why it is showing the 10. I can show you the, latest one also. Even I will send, in your group, the latest one. Now, earlier short questions were coming 10, right? But now this time, 11 short questions is coming, right? So total is of the 70 marks. Main is that section A, out of a 4 questions, you have to attempt 2. And again in the section B, out of a 4 questions, you have to attempt 2. Okay, guys. And section C is a compulsory. And under the section C, there would be 11 questions. Okay, of 2 marks. So this is your MEd semester 1. And as well as exams is concerned, exam will be held on in the month of January. Right, guys? So these are, all are the easy paper. We will cover very easily. So now I'm going to start the second PPT. So guys, we will start from paper 1. Okay. Paper 1, philosophy of education. Today I will take a 1 lecture of philosophy of education. Okay. So I'm going to close this PPT and show this one. Okay, yes. So I have studied the second PPT, right? Yes, okay. So you have come to know about your semester 1. Okay. Under the semester 1, you have to appear 4 theory papers and 1 practical paper. Okay, guys. Right. All of the 4 theory papers are of the 100 marks. So first we are discussing the philosophy of education. Okay. What are name of your paper? The paper 1 is philosophy of education. Second paper name is psychology of learning and development. Third is educational studies. And fourth is research. So today we are going to discuss paper 1, philosophy of education. So guys, you can see the syllabus of philosophy of education on your screen on the slide. There are two sections in each paper. Okay, either paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. There are two sections, section A and section B. You can see the syllabus. I will also share this PPT with you after this class as well as the video lecture. Okay. So section A, the contents are, the first topic is philosophy of education. Second topic is education and metaphysics. Third is epistemology and education. This one. Fourth is axiology and education. And under the section B, you can see that this is an important section. Under the section B, there are some philosophies, right? One is Western School of a Philosophy. Just see that. Western School of Philosophy. So under the Western School of a Philosophy, you have the idealism, naturalism, pragmatism, existentialism, and Marxism. Okay, just see that. Idealism, naturalism, pragmatism, existentialism, and Marxism. Okay, guys, what you have to do, see the syllabus. These all the philosophies, you have to do the idealism, naturalism, pragmatism, existentialism, and Marxism with special reference to concept of reality, knowledge, and values, and educational implications for aims, contents, and method of education. Okay. So basically what you have to do under the each philosophy, whether it would be idealism, naturalism, pragmatism, existentialism, or Marxism, number one, you have to do the concept of reality, okay, which is called metaphysics. Second, you have to do the knowledge, concept of knowledge. This is called epistemology. And third is values. Okay, this is called axiology. Okay, three things you have to do. And next is educational implications for aims, contents, and method of education. Okay, so we have to discuss the aims of education, then curriculum, and then method of teaching. Got it? So these philosophy, this thing we have to do. And second is Indian School of a Philosophy. You can see that. Indian School of Philosophy. Under the Indian School of a Philosophy, we have the Sankhya philosophy, Vedanta philosophy, Buddhism philosophy, Islamic traditions, and the Sikhism. This is important, guys. Okay. So basically, under the paper one, philosophy of education, when we conclude under the philosophy of education, the main things we have 4 or 5 Western School of Philosophy, idealism, naturalism, pragmatism, existentialism, and Marxism. And 4 or 5 are Indian School of Philosophy, Sankhya, Vedanta, Buddhism, Islamic. Right? So guys, I hope that when I will take your next lecture, okay, you should know the syllabus also. Right? You have to learn the syllabus. Okay. So what would be the style of our class? I will take the lecture. When I will take the next lecture, I will ask some of the questions from the previous lecture. Okay. And at the end of the every lecture or between the lecture, I will give you some assignments which you have to do that. Okay. Because I have to take 1 or 2 lectures in a week. Okay. The whole of the week you can prepare that. Okay. So I request to all of you, you should also have the copy and pen. You can note the important points. Okay. And after the lecture, we can discuss, right? Online, we can discuss. So this is about your paper 1, philosophy of education. So today I'm going to discuss the first lecture, philosophy of education, right? So today we will discuss concept, nature, scope. Okay. Then 1 Western School of a Philosophy, we will finish idealism, right? Okay. So, okay, guys. So I'm going to start the lecture. So I start my topic with philosophy, right? Philosophy kya cheez hai? What is philosophy basically? Philosophy is derived from the 2 words. One is called philos and second is sophia. The meaning of philos is love and meaning of sophia is wisdom. So then literal meaning of philosophy is love of wisdom. Right? What is philosophy? Philosophy is a love of wisdom. Love for knowledge, appetite for knowledge. This is called the philosophy, right? As the Bertrand Russell has said, you can see the one definition of a Bertrand Russell. What the Bertrand Russell has said, philosophy, like all other studies, aims primarily at knowledge. Okay, what is the main philosophy, meaning of a philosophy? Love of knowledge, love of wisdom, right? So next slide देखिए. These are the scopes, areas, or branches of philosophy. Guys, there are mainly, three areas, scope, or branches of a philosophy. One is called metaphysics. Second is called epistemology. Third is called axiology. Right? Meaning of metaphysics is theory of reality. Meaning of epistemology is theory of knowledge. And third, meaning of axiology is theory of values. Right? Up now, see this slide on the metaphysics. Metaphysics means theory of reality. Basically, you know what the metaphysics does. Okay, just see the word metaphysics. Metaphysics is derived from two words, meta plus physics. Right? So physics means, we talk about word, and meta beyond. So what is the meaning of metaphysics? Beyond the word. Okay, talk about the reality. Metaphysics is the first branch of the philosophy that talks about theory of reality. Okay, what are the metaphysical questions? You can see the metaphysical question. What is reality? Does God exist? If, can we prove it? Are human actions free? Are they determined by some forces outside of our control? What is time? What is the meaning of a life? You know that now? These all the questions comes in our mind and it comes in the human mind. So these are the metaphysical questions and you will get answer of these questions under subject philosophy. Got it? Second is epistemology. Epistemology is the second branch of the philosophy that is concerned with the theory of knowledge. Okay. So what type of a questions comes under the epistemology? How we get the knowledge? What is truth? How can we know? What are the sources of a knowledge? So this branch of philosophy, which is the second branch of the philosophy, talks about the different types of a knowledge, from origin of a knowledge, from where the knowledge has come, how we get the knowledge, what are the sources of a knowledge. So the answer of these all questions we get under the epistemology, which is the second branch of philosophy. Understood, guys? Now we move to the third branch. Third branch is called the axiology. Axiology is concerned with the theory of values. This is the third branch of philosophy. And axiological questions are, what are the higher values of life? What are the principles of life? Importance of developing values such as truth, beauty, goodness in life. How can we preserve these values? So these are the axiological questions. Okay. The answer we get under this branch from the philosophy. Okay. So the meaning of a philosophy you have come to know, and you are little bit idea of these all, three areas or scope or branches of the philosophy. Okay. Now we talk about little bit about the education. Okay, guys, what is education? Education, basically, it is as old as the human race, right? Education is the never-ending process of one's inner growth and development. हमारी पूरी की पूरी life, whole of our life is education, right? Even, many philosopher has said that education that starts from the cradle and end in the grave. You can just see that. It starts with the cradle. When we born, our education starts. You can't say that baby is not getting the education on that time. Baby can't speak, but he is getting everything. He is observing everything. He or she is observing everything. right? Even, before the 9 months, when, baby is in the womb of the mother, okay, on that time, he or she is learning, guys. Yes. And where the education stops, it stops in the grave. मतलब, we die, हम मर जाते हैं. Education never ends. Okay. Why, this philosophy of education is in your syllabus? You are doing the MEd, right? This is a basically teaching methodology course. After doing the MEd, you can become the teacher and you can become the principal. This has become the mandatory according to the new education policy, right? And please keep in your mind, after doing this, MEd course, you become the teacher. B.Ed and MEd course, you become the teacher. Without this, you can't truly teach to the students. Do you know what is the meaning of a education or what is the meaning of a teaching? Can you tell me what is the meaning of a teaching or what is the meaning of a education? Teaching means to know the subject first. Subject means to know the child first. Okay. Matlab, unless if you do not know the knowledge of mental level of the student, if you do not have the knowledge of psychology of the student, growth and development of the student, intelligence level of the student, trust me, you cannot teach to the student. Yes. Okay. The first you interact with the students, you should know about your student. And guys, remember in your mind, children are the genius. Not even a single child is weak on this planet. Keep in your mind. Child is never ever weak in this planet. All the children are genius. All the children. So stop labeling the child. He is weak. That particular student is weak. Particular student is naughty. Particular student is making noise in the class. Only weak is the teacher. Child is never ever weak. Children are the genius. When the baby born with so many powers, so many lot of things. Okay. And this is the duty of the teacher and the parents to draw out that knowledge. Do you know what the Gandhiji has said about the education? Gandhiji has said that by education, I mean an all-round drawing out of the best in child and man, body, mind, and spirit. And what the Swami Vivekananda has said? Swami Vivekananda has said that education is the manifestation of the divine perfection already existing in a man. Right? So that's why, guys, this MEd syllabus, which is called the teaching methodology syllabus, it is in your course. Okay. After doing this course, actually you become teacher. Without this, you can't become a teacher. Okay. Because you do not have the knowledge of a teaching methodology and you come in the class and you start teaching. Okay. So basically you are not teaching to the student. Okay. You are not called as a good teacher. Okay. If you do not have the knowledge of these courses which is in your syllabus. Okay. So first paper we are discussing, the name of paper is Philosophy of Education, right? I thought you should have little bit idea of the philosophy of education. Then I moved to philosophy of education, right? Philosophy, we have done it. Philosophy starts from the two word philos and sophia. The literal meaning is love of wisdom, right? Bertrand Russell has also said that philosophy, like all other sciences, primarily to get knowledge. And education kya cheez hai? Education is a never-ending process of one's inner growth and development. Even education starts from the cradle and ends in the grave. Means we die. Education never dies. Okay. The whole life is the education. And these are the three words you must understand. Okay. If anybody asks from you, tell me the three, three Latin word. Education is derived from the Latin word. What are the literal meaning of education? Guys, you should know that. Education is derived from the three literal word, educare, educere, and educatum. What is the meaning of educare? Educare means to bring up, to nourish, To raise means, okay, I'm talking about the first word, educare. It means you have to nourish your child. Whatever is your class, fifth class, sixth class, 10th class, ninth class, right? Second class, eighth class, whatever the class you are teaching, you have to teach in that way. They should, they should nourish. You have to nourish those students. Like एक mother अपने बच्चे को nourishment करती है ना, like that you have to nourish. You have to raise the level of student. This is the important raising. ठीक है, first is raising. If you can't raise the level of student, you are not called as a teacher. Always remember, the role of a teacher, it plays a very important role, guys. Yes, teacher is the nation builder. Teacher is the torch bearer of the society. Yes, what we are. Have you thought about yourself, what you are? What you are? Can you tell me? Can you explain yourself? Have you thought about yourself? Have you asked the questions from yourself what you are? I tell you what you are. You are the copy of those 4 or 5 people who have influenced on your life more and more. Getting my point? So you are the copy of those persons. तो वो those persons कौन थे? Who were? They were your teacher. Might be they are elders, might be they can your parents, elders and the teachers. So always remember, that's why it is called that there is a need of a good company. Always be in the company, good company, right? So the first word talks about to nourish up. Second is educere. It is again a very important word. What is the meaning of educere? To draw out the best. Okay. Teaching does not mean, guys, we have to put into the mind of the student. We do not have to put into the mind of the student. This is not a teaching. Okay, what is teaching basically? Teaching means nikalna. Teaching means to draw out. To draw out from the best from the mind of the student. This is called teaching. Teaching means stimulating the learning power of the student. Teaching means arousing the learning power of the student. This is the meaning of teaching. Education, the word also says that. To lead out, to draw out. Right? And educatum is to train, the act of a teaching or training. Matlab you should be trained. Right? Similarly, B.Ed or M.Ed जो course है, it is a like training course. Right? In this course, you train yourself. Little bit idea you have got about the philosophy and little bit idea you have got about the education. Okay, am I right? And a little bit idea you have got it. So now, please define what is the relationship between education and philosophy. So, एक philosopher हुए हैं Ross. Ross ने clear ही कर दिया. Ross has said that education and philosophy are the two sides of the same coin. One is implemented by other. Okay. Education and philosophy are closely connected with each other. Right? They are interrelated. If philosophy is a love of knowledge, then education is acquisition of knowledge. Getting the knowledge, acquiring the knowledge. Education is the practical side of the philosophy. Right? Philosophy always theory based hoti hai. Philosophy means thought. Philosophy. Okay. ये जो philosophy हम कहते हैं ना, sometimes we say that ना, भाई अपनी philosophy मत झार, है ना, अपनी philosophy बंद कर. तो means every person have its philosophy. So philosophy is related with the theory and education is related with the practical. Guys, education is a practical approach. Whenever you have to go into the class, you have to show practically. Yes. It is a practical side of the theory. Philosophy makes your thought and education implement that thought. Right? Education is the practical activity of the philosophical thought. Without philosophy, education would be the blind effort. And without education, philosophy would be crippled. Now I conclude that, guys, you know what I'm going to conclude, that a teacher must be philosopher first. If you are not a philosopher, you are not called as a teacher, right? If you do not have a philosopher, you should have the knowledge of philosophy. Okay, because education, there is a lot of problems. If you do not know how to solve that problem with philosophical thoughts, philosophical principles, right? So how you can call as a good teacher? So this is the relationship between philosophy and education. Philosophy and education are the two sides of the same coin. One is implemented by the other. Okay. Education is the practical side of the philosophical thought. Okay. वो नीचे देखो लिखा है, education is the applied philosophy. Right? Because now when you go into the class, you know what you are teaching to the student. मतलब you are, whatever that topic you have prepared with, you are putting your philosophy to the student. So you should have the philosophy, right? So it is the applied philosophy. Okay, I think a little bit you have knowledge of philosophy and branches of philosophy, three branches: metaphysics, epistemology, and axiology. You have to remember it. Okay, and education's little bit knowledge you have, and relationship about education and philosophy. Now we start our first topic of MEd Sem 1. What is the name of topic? Philosophy of education. Okay, just see the syllabus. Okay, this is our syllabus. Philosophy of education. The first topic of section A is philosophy of education. So now we are going to start philosophy of education. Okay, so what is philosophy of education? Philosophy of education, it is a branch of philosophy. It is the study of education in philosophical manners. It is a philosophical process of solving educational problems through philosophical method, from a philosophical attitude to arrive at philosophical conclusion and results. Thus, it aims at achieving general as well as comprehensive result. Philosophy of education play an important role in providing directions to education. Okay, guys, in a simple word, I explain you, हमारा जो education system है, our education system is a full of problems, right? There is a problem in our education system, problem of, evaluation problem of curriculum, sometime, sometime teacher problem, right? Because sometime teachers comes from the other state, language problem, evaluation problem. There is a lot of problems. Basically, education is a full of problems. And even after a new day, after a next day, okay, we face with the problems. We encounter with the problems. Okay, because where we are living nowadays, we are living in the era of changing world. New and new things are coming, and they are also influencing the education. Yes. So this is also a problem. So when, guys, we solve these all problems with the help of philosophical principles, with the help of a philosophical attitude, philosophical thought, in order to improve teaching and learning, this is called philosophy of education. Got it? What I have said, कि education is full of problems. When we solve these problems with philosophical thought, philosophical principles, philosophical attitude, in order to improve teaching and learning, this is called philosophy of education. Basically, philosophy of education gives directions to education. Okay. Now we talk about a little bit scope of philosophy of education. देखो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट फिलोसफी ऑफ एजुकेशन, है ना, एजुकेशन की फिलोसफी। तो फिलोसफी ऑफ एजुकेशन इज कन्फाइंड टू द एजुकेशन ओनली, because philosophy is a very comprehensive term, but here we are discussing a small topic which is named philosophy of education. Philosophy of education, basically it is a branch of philosophy and it is confined to the field of education. Thus it is a philosophy in the field of education. The scope of philosophy of education is concerned with problem of education, okay, which I have underlined. Okay, look at, Malab, for you I have underlined the things, I have bolded the things, I have make a PPT for you. The same way, guys, you have to teach to your student. Okay, so basically you are taking a training from my side. I'm basically your teacher trainer. Okay, I'm not like the teacher, because I'm not teaching you Hindi, English, science, mathematics, social study. I'm not teaching. What I'm teaching to you, you should know that, na? What I'm teaching to you. I'm teaching to you how to teach. Got it? You are the MBA trainees. You are taking trainees how to teach, basically. And MBA is a teaching methodology. Even you have done the B.Ed, okay, तो आपका जो B.Ed भी रिवाइज हो जाएगा यहाँ पे. Okay, got it? So I'm giving you training and you are the pupil teacher, basically. Okay, you are not as a student, right? You are the teacher and you are taking the training of how to teach, basically. Okay, so philosophy of education is concerned with the problem of education. These problems mainly include, number one, interpretations of a human nature, the world, universe, and their relations with man. Next, scope of philosophy of education, interpretations of aims and ideals of education, relationship of the various components of the system of education, relationship of education in various areas of a national life, economic system, political order, social progress, cultural reconstruction, educational values, and theory of a knowledge and its relationship to education. Okay, so basically these all the things, these are also problems. Okay, what should be our aims, ideals of educations? Okay, what are the various components of system of education? So actually we take the help of the philosophy in order to solve the educational problems. Okay, in order to improve the teaching and learning process, to make the teaching effective. Why we do B.Ed or M.Ed? We do B.Ed or M.Ed basically to become a good teacher and to smooth and for effective teaching and learning. Okay. So basically it is a M.Ed syllabus is a teaching methodology syllabus. So that's why there are 4 papers in your semester 1. One is called philosophy of education. Here you will come to know about the philosophy of education, Western school of a philosophy, idealism, naturalism, pragmatism, existentialism, and Marxism, and Indian school of a philosophy, Sankhya, Vedanta, Islamic traditions, and Sikhism. Okay. Second paper is your psychology of learning and development. Third paper is educational study. Fourth paper is your research. Okay. Under a research, guys, okay, I will teach you. You should have a research attitude. If you do not have the research attitude, it means you are not a good teacher or good principal, right? Because M.Ed is for the teacher and the principal. So, these all, and this paper will develop your philosophical point of view, the paper 1. Second paper, psychology of learning and development, develop your psychological point of view. Third, educational studies, because you are the teacher, okay, and you should have the knowledge of education. All the things, all the, commissions of educations we will discuss under the paper 3. And paper 4 may we will discuss the research. You must have the research attitude. Okay. Because research, kya cheez hai? What is research? Research is a systematic inquiry, systematic steps to solve a problem, right? And being teacher, any problem comes in front of you, if you do not have the research attitude, how you will solve it? Got my point? So, at least now, first of all, everything starts with why. I think that you should start with why. Why we are studying the MEd. Okay. So once why is clear in your mind, so then process becomes very smooth. Got it, guys? Scope we are done. Okay. Now we today we will discuss one ism also. Okay. So these are our isms. Western school of philosophy. Okay. We have the idealism, pragmatism, naturalism, existentialism, and Marxism. Okay. So we will in our next class, we will also discuss the one ism, okay, which is called the idealism. Okay, guys. So thank you so much, guys, for this class. So today we have discussed about uh, meaning of philosophy. Then we discuss about branches of philosophy. Okay. Then we discuss about education. Okay, literal meaning of education, educare, educier, and educatum. Then we discuss about relationship of a philosophy with education. Then we discuss about philosophy of education. What is a philosophy of education? Okay. Then we discuss about scope of philosophy of education. Okay. So this thing we discuss in our first lecture. In our next lecture, we will discuss about idealisms. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for this class.